Hey guys, my name is Brandon and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you like what you see in here, you're more than welcome to hit the subscribe button so you stay notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, let's get straight on with today's video. Hey everyone and welcome back to Is That More Brandon. So in today's video, I'm actually going to be doing a review to the Netflix series called... Well, let me try that again. Hey everyone and welcome back to Is That More Brandon. So in today's video I'm actually going to be doing a review to the Netflix series called Squid Game The Challenge. Now I know this came out a couple of months ago, but I thought I'd do a quick review to it because I've actually now just watched the first episode. So I'm going to be doing a episode review for every episode. There's only 10 episodes in total, but so far so damn good, and I must say it's not exactly like the show, but it's pretty good, and it's kind of like an American over dramatized, like, you know, entertainment kind of version of the show, but it's still really good so far. It is very weird because there are also 456 players, and so far we've obviously lost quite a few of them, but it's just kind of like getting to know certain little groups or getting to know like individuals and being like, oh, are they still in the game? Or, oh no, they've just been eliminated, that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm just going to quickly give you a quick run through of episode 1. So obviously if you haven't seen it so far, don't watch this video because there will obviously be some spoilers. But I'm going to do a quick review of the first episode, and then yeah, I'm going to get watching the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, all the way to the 10th. And you'll obviously come through with me to see the winner, so it'll be very exciting to see who actually wins and the process that they've had to go on to obviously win the show. So, like I said at the beginning of the show, there were 456 contestants, which is exactly the same as what it was on the original. So that means that the total prize fund as of now was $4,560,000. 4,560,000, yep, that's it. So for every person that gets eliminated from the game, $10,000 goes to the pot, and it's in dollars, not pounds. Obviously quite an Americanized thing. And obviously we started introducing ourselves to some of the contestants. So right at the beginning, I think the first person that we were actually introduced to was called Starla. So she is number 318, basically saying that she doesn't really have loads of dreams, she doesn't have loads of aspirations, but she still has her own dreams and she still has things that she obviously wants to achieve. And I think the most important thing here is, yes, okay, some of it might be a bit dramatic and some of it might be a little bit, you know, scripted, but these are still 456 individual people with real lives, you know, real experiences, real connections with the outside world. Obviously they're not going to die because it's a program, it's not like a real life situation, but it's just that thing of they all probably do have their own reasons for being there, not just for money. Maybe some of them want to build a platform, maybe some of them want to get a modelling career, whatever. They are all there for one reason or another. And then players 161 and 432 had a little quick joke with each other. Basically 161 was saying that, yeah, him and 432 basically work out a lot, and they weren't sure about the other guy that was standing with them, kind of like already having a dig at that guy and didn't even know each other. And obviously player 432 we found out was Brighton. So he is really good looking actually. I'm sure he knows that anyway, but he basically said that there was a reason that he was put here and God made him a certain way and he's basically controlling his own destiny. So I think he said something along the lines of like, there are some things that people can't do because they can't do it. It's just a matter of finding a way to do it. So everyone can do things, but it's just finding a way to obviously do that. Not sure if he actually mentioned that later on or whether he mentioned that early. Then we found out that player 301 is Trey. So him and his mum, Leanne, who is player 302, are both obviously in the game together. People don't really know that. I think now they're kind of starting to get an understanding that the two of them are obviously together because they're obviously talking quite a lot. She's obviously quite a lot older, so unless they are in a, you know, relationship, which obviously they're not, people would assume that they are related somehow, whether grandma or mother or whatever. We were introduced to player 97, that's Jada, and she basically said she kind of has the gift of knowing, so she knows straight away if someone is a good person or not. So we did see her quite a lot in the first episode. She's still in at the moment, so just to give you a heads up, she hasn't been eliminated yet. School friends or best friends, Chase and Steven. So Chase is number 242, Steven's number 243 with the mullet. And he basically said that if he was to get to the end, you know, even though him and Chase are best mates, he's still gonna obviously want to win, and every man is for themselves in this game. Player 167 was eliminated straight away, and player 242, Chase, actually did get eliminated. So the first game was obviously red light, green light. He did move as the little doll turned back round. Stephen was kind of looking there like, oh my God, my best mate's just gone out. Literally within 5 minutes, gone. And then I think we also lost player 318, so obviously Starla, so she actually got eliminated as well, and like I said, she was the first person that we met, and she was one of the first 5 to get eliminated. Player 385 decided that she wanted to squat, so being in a position that you need to pause in, she thought, let me squat halfway onto the floor, completely regretted her decision, and her legs were just basically completely aching, so she basically just forfeited the game and obviously eliminated. And we found out that player 107 was the first person who actually managed to get through. So he looked like a young, athletic, mixed race kind of guy, really, really good looking, young guy. And he basically said this is one of many games that he's gonna hopefully get through. Well, he said something along the lines of that. And then we got into the bedroom after the first game had finished. Players 101 and 243 became the Mullet Brothers Alliance. So obviously 243 had just lost his friend, so he had to kind of make an alliance elsewhere. So very smart from him. And then we saw a couple of the girls and player 141, who is Dash. I'm going to just refer to him as the redhead, who is very sassy because obviously he is. I think he's gay, or bi or whatever. But he was talking to the girls, basically saying like, this is obviously getting really, you know, tough and, you know, dramatic and things like that. Player 200, Mothy, sounds like he's from Liverpool. He wasn't really friends with player 68, but they were having a little bit of a chat, trying to kind of work out where they were from and that sort of thing. And then player 68 said to him, all right, well, if I win, I'll give you £200. And then said, actually, if I win, I'll give you £200,000. So I think they were both Indian or of Asian heritage, so I don't know if they were just bonding over that, but they were having a nice little chat. And Rick, player 232, said that he was using his age as a threat. So he is actually the oldest contestant in the game, and he basically said a lot of people just see him as an old guy, but he's going to obviously try and play the game and use age to his advantage. So although he may not be able to run as quickly or, you know, lift things as easily, he can use his brain to kind of mind play with people. After the first game, we found out that 197 contestants actually remained in the game out of the 456, so 259 people got eliminated in that first round. I didn't even realise that many people could get eliminated in a game, but they did. And for every person that got eliminated, $10,000 was added to the pot. So the prize pot then turned up to $2,590,000. So I think, yeah, the potential pot was 4 million, but that's not actually what it is. That's what it could be if, obviously, when everyone gets eliminated and there's one person left, that's what they can win. So as of now, we're just under half. Player 443 actually has really nice tattoos. Don't know his name, don't know anything about him, he's just really hot. And then player 432, Player 432, who's the really, really hot guy, basically said he's locked into the game and, you know, there's no way he's going to leave the game. He's going to basically do what he needs to do. Player 202 looks a bit like Luke Friend from X Factor. And Trey and Leanne, obviously mother and son, had a little chat, and he basically said to his mum, who would you eliminate? She said she'd get rid of one of the bros. So by bros, there were 5 guys, including 432, that were all hanging out together. So players 432, 107, 417, 083 and 041 were all playing together. So it's just one of those things of keep an eye on the numbers. Kind of, that's a group of bros, 5 of them. So let's actually see how many of those actually get through. I'm just trying to see if any of them got eliminated, and it looks like they are still all in at the moment. 432 then said to the camera that he's actually he's not cocky, he's just confident, outgoing. He does love himself a lot. And then we found out that Kyle 101, one of the other mullet boys, and Danny 134 were just, you know, making dinner. They were cutting up carrots or something. And Kyle said to the camera that sometimes people think he's not as smart just because he's from a certain place in America, which I think is Kentucky. And the both of them had a voiceover that basically said that both of them were going to take the first test, and they could either give someone an advantage for the next game or eliminate a player from the game. So they did have a little chat, and they kind of decided that they weren't sure who they'd give an advantage to. One, probably because, you know, you don't actually know anybody in there at the moment, you don't really know who needs help, but also by helping someone, it's like, will they end up backstabbing you later on? So they weren't 100% sure about that. They thought they'd take advantage of getting rid of a player. And Danny said that player 200 was basically talking to everyone, and that player 432 was a bit of a ringleader. So I think they were the 2 options for the two that potentially they were going to eliminate. Lorenzo, player 161, I think is a nice Italian guy, said that eating food and obviously having food is the most important thing. He said there were 3 of the most important things to him was food, food and food. So obviously when they brought out the dinner, they basically said one person has 1 bowl of food each. He took a bowl of food, put it under his pillow, took another bowl of food, put it under his pillow, another bowl of food, basically had 3 bowls of food, and ended up eating everyone else's food as well. So I think it was just that he was very hungry, but some of the girls, so I think players 97, 95 and some of the others did notice this, and I think also 141, the sassy ginger, sassy redhead Dash, he also saw that I think as well. So they were all kind of like, oh my god, what the hell? And he basically said, we're all in here to play a game, and I don't believe in morals in the corporate world. So basically, he's one of those people that doesn't like to take risks. He's like, you know, you have to just do what you have to do, and sometimes actually just get on with it, basically. So actually, no, he does like taking risks. Sorry, he doesn't like not taking risks. That's what I meant to say. Player 232, after the morning, was celebrating his 69th birthday, and he basically said this is the most important birthday for him, and this has actually probably been his best birthday. And then player 432 said to 161, he can't act like he's tired because then that will show that he's weak. Remember, 432 is the ringleader of the bros, 161 is the Italian guy who nicked all the food. Players 145, players 154, 287 and 97 were having a nice little chat. Not sure if there's an alliance growing, but obviously 97 is one of the girls we met at the beginning, Jada, remember the girl that has the gift of knowing. I think the 2 people that she was hanging around with were probably like adults, like parents or whatever, so maybe they were giving a little bit more of advice to her. And then player 134, obviously Danny from the kitchen, was nudging past player 200, who she knew potentially she had eliminated. She said, excuse me sir, as if like, get lost. So I don't know, he kind of looked at her and that way as in like, well, that's a bit strange. And then we found out that player 200 was actually the eliminated player. So both Kyle and Danny did decide to get rid of him, and they did keep 432, the ringleader of the bros. So it'll be interesting to see why they swayed towards 200 rather than 432, but I'm sure we'll find out later on. And then player 200 basically said that he wanted to better his family's life, but you know, he wasn't given the opportunity, and actually sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. And then 134 said that she does feel awful, but that's an easy £10,000 that they've managed to add to the bank. So it's one of those things of like, do you keep someone in to potentially help them to do whatever, but then that's one extra person you have to eliminate, or quickly get rid of them, you'll forget about them in 5 minutes, that's 10,000 grand to the pot. Player 99 said that it seems like the nice guys finished last, so although maybe this guy was really nice, that he just happened to get eliminated. I think here Kyle kind of joined in a little bit, basically saying like, yeah, well maybe that is true kind of thing. Player 132 had a chat with 134 basically saying that she thought 101 was actually part of the plan, so she kind of was saying to Danny, who was the one that did the choosing, that maybe she had a feeling Kyle was a culprit, so maybe are they going to both now target 132 just because she's getting a little bit of intel? Who knows, she might eliminate herself later on. And then obviously Danny, player 134, she said that she has a criminal justice degree and people underestimate her because obviously she's female, blonde and short, but she's going to use that to her advantage, build people's trust. And she said that she doesn't feel like she has to do that because there are some people who are just trusted straight away by the way that they look. But for her, for example, she has to do something in order for people to kind of validate her and her opinions and things like that, which obviously isn't fair. It is kind of sexist and, you know, but you know, that's just how the world is, and I hope that does change. So there are some important messages in here as well, but I hope she does well. I hope she can at least get forward a little bit further, just to kind of be able to promote, you know, female equality and stuff like that as well. Before the contestants went to the next game, they were all walking on the colourful stairs. I did see player 158, gorgeous, lovely looking man. He was the first one to go through the door, and what they had to do here was obviously game number 2, which was Dalgona. So before they actually played the game, they were advised to get into 4 lines, team 1, 2, 3 and 4. So you can see them all kind of deciding, oh, do we go that way, do we go that way, who's on that team, who's on that team. Anyway, eventually they get into their 4 different lines, and we basically find out that the first 4 people playing the cookie game, Dalgona, are the first 4 people at the front of the line. So whoever was at the front for team 1, 2, 3 and 4, who we found out was 166, 328, 98 and 170. They had to make the honeycomb cookies with the shapes, and then obviously, yeah, that was basically it. It kind of seemed like we didn't actually get to the game because the 4 of them had to come to a unanimous decision, and if they weren't able to, there would be a forfeit. And basically, they all decided which shape they wanted to go for. Player 170 wasn't really sure why he put himself at the front of the line. 166, 328, both very feisty women, kind of knew exactly what they wanted to do. 328 actually wanted to go for a different shape, but she kind of went for the star. I think it was like circle, triangle, star, and umbrella. No one wanted the umbrella, most difficult one. And player 98, young redhead guy, he kind of didn't want to go for the umbrella, and he basically said, no, I'm not going to go for it. So time went down all the way to 0, and because he didn't just go for the umbrella, he actually got all 4 of them eliminated from the game. So another 4 gone, another 10 grand for the 4 of them added to the prize pot. The next 4 to go in, again, front of every queue. So we had players 454, players 321, 288 and 378. And then I think here, Adrian, player 270, basically said here that he didn't think the players should go for the umbrella shape, just purely because that's probably the most complicated shape. Anyway, so players 454, 321, 288, 378, as of now, have started discussing which shapes they want to go for, and it kind of seems like player 454 again doesn't want, none of them want to go for the umbrella because it is the most complicated shape to cut out. But 454, older guy, good looking-ish, seems like a decent guy, but yeah, he is very like, I don't want to go for any other shape. I don't want to go for the umbrella. And basically, someone put themselves on triangle, someone put themselves on circle, and both him and I think it's player 288 are both standing on the star together, just discussing. And he was like, bro, just go on to the other one, move, otherwise we're all gonna die. The guy on circle was shouting over, I don't know what number he is, I think he's 378, but basically they're all the guys are shouting at each other. There's one girl there who's kind of just trying to get involved, but look, just choose the colour. So that's basically where we are as of now in terms of episode 1. It's really weird, like it's almost like I'm watching Squid Game again, just in English, or American English. But yeah, you do have a few front runners, you've got a few people who, you know, you've got to keep your eyes on. So you've got Trey, 301, Leanne, 302, mother and son. You've got Dash, the redhead, 141. You've got 107, who was the first guy that got through the first game. You have 432, who obviously is the most confident outgoing guy. You've got 101, Kyle, and 134, Danny, the 2 that had to eliminate a different player. You've then got 132, who kind of has started speaking up a little bit. You don't really know much about her, but she's there. Player 170, Adrian, who's just really hot. 97, you've got Jada, the girl that knows everything. 232, the older guy who has just had his 6th and 9th birthday. And then, yeah, 443, just got hot tattoos, don't really know much about him. And that's probably it as of now. And 243, Stephen, the guy that had the best mate, so that's the guy with the mullet. So they're probably the front runners for now. I wouldn't say potentially they're all going to win, because I don't really know. I've only just met these people in the space of like the last hour and a bit, but they're all kind of the main-ish characters that we've met so far. People that have been decided in the game, people that have kind of had a bit of showtime, people that have, you know, started making alliances and things. So they're the kind of main people for now. So I don't really know what's going to happen in episode 2. I am going to watch it. But yeah, if you did enjoy my first review, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Let me know what you think is going to happen next. And if you have seen it, don't obviously spoil it for everyone else. But until my next review, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in Squid Game The Challenge Episode 2. And until then, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.